I don't know. I look at this and there's a lot in here that you look and you go, especially you've got to look at the main card. Wow. And when you look at the main card, there's fights on here that I go, look, I think that's a good young fighter. Mike Malott, good young fighter, very talented. Adam Fugit, talented, but they're not pay-per-view main card guys. Not yet. I'm not saying they won't be, but not yet. It's just, I mean, they're getting their shot. I know this, they've got bumped up and stuff based upon the card and everything, but I don't know. I just look at it and just,
John, when you not sure. When you're looking for fighters, they need to, that don't have a big name and you're putting them on a pay-per-view, they have to be like the main event of the prelims, or they have to be the first fight on a stacked main card so they get the name recognition.
Yeah.
Right now you have the main event and the co-main event. I think are the only people that, there's a couple people on here that they know, but they probably don't know their opponents all that well.
I mean, let's be honest. Look at the main card. Put that back up, Dave. You've got obviously Amanda Nunes and Aldana. That's your main event. Charles Oliveira against Benil. Awesome fight. Loved it. Love it.
Yeah.
But then you take a look, if you're going to go 5, your opening fight is Marc-Andre Barrio versus Eric Anders. I like Eric Anders. I like Marc-Andre. I think he's tough as hell. But he's probably, in his last 3 fights, 1-2. Is that pay-per-view main card starting the show, what you're looking for? Mm-hmm. No, I'm wrong. He's 2-2 in his last. Yeah. So, but I don't know. It's just not. It's not. How many times have we saw Michael Chandler versus Dan the Hangman Hooker as an opening? Okay, that's an opening kind of pay-per-view. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. This one. That's what I'm expecting that I get to see from the Apex Center for free. I'm just being honest. It could be a great fight.
They raised their price on their pay-per-views. And once they raise their price, things like this, it starts affecting like whether you want to buy it or not. I mean, it really does. I mean, look, I'm going to buy it strictly because of Benil Dariush and Oliveira. That's a fight that I really want to see. And also, I'm a big fan of Dan Ige. So... I mean, those are the 3 fighters I'm really looking forward to seeing.
But how excited are you about the main event?
I'm not at all. I hate to be that way, but I'm not at all.
I know.
Look, I think Amanda should be able to walk through
she
her.
Should.
If Amanda comes the way she came her last fight, well, that just sounded really bad. So, but if Amanda performs the way that she performed her last fight,
comes prepared the way she was prepared for her last fight. How's that?
If she performs the way that she performed last fight, I think that she should walk through Irene Aldana. Look, when you're making $350 million a year in profit, you don't give a shit. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing for your investors. Yeah. That's it. I'm showing you that I'm making money. And the problem with that, John, is then you end up with cards like this. $75 or $79 on pay-per-view for two. And I know there's other 3 or 4 other good fights, but that's not pay-per-view worthy. That's not pay-per-view worthy. And you're going to steal at home a lot of these
in MMA, and especially in the UFC, pay-per-view worthy is you're expecting 5 fights that you want to see. 5.
Yep. So my biggest complaint has always been that we could potentially end up with it leaning towards boxing with the price going up, and you may start only seeing 2-3 good fights at the most.
This is the kind of thing that you're looking at.
And what's made MMA so popular was that you paid for 5 good fights and you got 5 good fights. With boxing, it's been 1. That's it. Randomly, you'll get the co-main event will have 2 good names, but they're generally up and comers that are really making a name for themselves because the main event fighters don't want to pay the people underneath them because they're the ones ultimately paying them. It's coming out of the main event card or pay-per-views or whatever it is.
80-20.
This fight. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, do you think that based on how the quality does dip, right? All these pay-per-views are the same price and the quality does dip throughout the year because you can't, 12 pay-per-views a year, you can't have every one be stacked.
You have to.
Should they have tent poles? Should they have tentpole pay-per-views?
No, what the tentpole is the pay-per-view. That's what you call a tentpole. Is a pay-per-view.
No, but you know how and you guys are gonna hate me for saying this, but WWE has their big 4 per year, right?
I love
it. They have their big 4, and then they have everything throughout the year is just kind of like your you get excited about it, whatever. But in the pay-per-view model, could you charge more for, like, say, 4, 5 tentpoles, 4 tentpole pay-per-views, and then the rest of the pay-per-views are just you pay something, but maybe not quite that 70.
But can I ask you a question? How much more do you want them to pay?
I mean, could your tentpole? I mean, what was the big one? What was that big card that you guys would say you'd pay $100 for this year that UFC's put on? Because there was probably a pay-per-view. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like a fight that happened this year, but it's not coming to me.
No, there hasn't been. Not this year.
No, there was. Yes, there was. There was a card that we were looking forward to.
Was it Islam and Charles?
Which one it was? It might have been Islam and Charles. It might have been Islam and Volkanovski.
No, Islam and Charles was in. Well, yeah, that was the one in Perth, I think. Yeah, because Islam and Charles was last year in 2022.
That's what I'm saying. I think Islam.
I think you can get 4.
October of 2022 was Islam and Charles.
You can get 4 cards, can't you? That you can get 4 cards that a year that are stacked to the gills, and you can charge $100 for.
Oh, come on, Dave. Dave. They can do whatever they want, but when you're taking a look at pay-per-view, you're asking people to put their money down on that. So you look and you make those the cards that we've seen really good fights on the Vegas 74 or whatever it is, Apex. Sometimes there's some good, main event fights. Put those on fucking pay-per-views. The Apex fights are the Cara France versus, Albazi. Great. Those are free.
Make those cards, make the free cards just really your the fights you need to make to fulfill your obligations, and then make your pay-per-views the fights that people actually want to pay money for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're paying the money, Dave. They're paying the money because I want to see the damn fight.
I'm asking your opinion.
No, my opinion is this. $79, is it 79 or 75? I just quit looking.
Well, it ends up being 84. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
With taxes and everything, it's like $84.
So, look, if you want to do a once a year $100 card where it's every single fight, or even all the way through the some of the prelims, the top 3 prelims, I'm down. But outside of that, I mean, realistically, this is not this whole card is not pay-per-view worthy. There's, like I said, the one fight that that makes this whole thing worth is Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush. The other fights, as much as I love Dan Ige, as much as I like Landwehr, as much as I like Mike Malott, as much as I like Imavov and Chris Curtis, that's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, but that's a prelim, so that one's free.
But that's what I'm saying though. But those fights, like I would have expected that Imavov would have been on the main card, but then that's the main event for the prelims.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's the main event on the prelims. So
Chris Curtis is never getting past prelims again after his comments last time.
Chris Curtis, I'll watch Chris Curtis fight anytime. Chris Curtis brings it every fucking fight. I love Chris Curtis as a fighter, so they can be as mad at him as they want. That dude is awesome.